Hey everybody, it's Dr. A, and I want to welcome you to our workshop on Element 8. This is our last in a series of 8 workshops we've done now over the last couple months, and very excited about hopefully all the comments I've had have been just people really liking this and being together and working on the habits of health together has been fun. I want to welcome all of you for our last one. Not to say we won't do it again, but I want to first congratulate you on all the amazing things that you guys have done. It's the input and the feedback has been incredible. All the great things that are happening, and it's really important as we go into this last element, into element 8, that we kind of understand we're starting to set you up into the mechanics. And then as you move from here, you'll start learning more about what to eat and all the different choices you have when you go out to eat and eating healthy, hydration, moving on with habits of healthy motion, habits of healthy sleep and energy management, moving on to habits of healthy mind, which are so critical, and we've touched on some of those things, and then on to the habits of healthy surroundings. And so the next, moving from 8 all the way through 26, will be progressively learning more and more things that can make everything different. So I'm going to start off tonight, and then when we finish tonight, we'll talk a little bit about where we can go from here. So the first thing I'd like to do is, as I always do, element 8 basically should take about a week, and this is learning how to eat every 3 hours. We're going to learn about the keys to reaching a healthy weight and healthy weight management. We're going to talk about the habits of health clock, and then we'll explore ways that you can now use this healthy eating pattern you're building to build a lifetime of great health. So with that, people say, wow, if they haven't heard it before, they're thinking, whoa, eating every 3 hours, I have trouble just getting any meals into it. And that is the point. Most people have a tendency in life to eat a very little bit chaotically on their way out of the house, and then kind of starve themselves all day long and then get home in the evening and have a huge meal. And nothing could be worse for our health. First of all, it puts a massive load on our system. The other thing is the traditional way of where does it say we should eat 3 meals a day? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's usually an average of 6 hours between meals. And when we eat heavier meals throughout the day, we again put more of a load on our GI tract. And so here's an important thing. When I wrote the book in 2008, there was a lot of data that supported eating every 3 hours, and there's still quite a bit. Some areas have been challenged. And when I read through the studies that say, well, eating every 3 hours doesn't really improve, keep your weight lower, well, it's because if you eat whatever you want every 3 hours and you're eating ultra processed food, yes, you're probably going to eat more calories throughout the day. So one of the key things we'll be doing in the lessons moving forward is as you use your LifeBook and you use the Habits of Health, Dr. A's Habits of Health, you'll be learning the quality, using the plate system to make sure you're using the proper size. You're going to use the color-coded glycemic index, so we're turning off insulin and we're turning off fat storage. And you're going to learn how to make the choices in the colorized areas in terms of healthy meats and seafood, and make sure you learn in a very easy way how to eat healthy for the rest of your days. But it all starts with eating every 3 hours because we can adjust this to wherever we are. For those of you that are on your weight loss journey to reach a healthy weight and optimize yourself moving forward, this key pattern allows you to use our prepackaged fuelings, or you can also go to the book and do it on your own. I mean, there's nothing saying you have to use the fuelings, although I can tell you they're so convenient and so relatively cost effective that they're an amazing way to reach your healthy weight and to maintain it. I've been using them for 19 plus years now, and boy, I'll tell you, they're great when I'm traveling or in the car, on planes, or just every day when I'm working. As crazy as it is right now, helping so many create health. I don't have a lot of time to cook, and when I'm alone, basically, I don't want to spend that time cooking. I'd rather be focusing on things that really matter, which is helping you all and people really learn the skills, strategy, and tools to create long-term health. So one of the key things about eating 3 hours, and you can go into the book, and there's a whole bunch of charts that show all the potential benefits. But one of the key parts is making it so it's portion controlled. We're not eating massive meals. Our lean and green, if you're going on the Optimal Health 5 and 1, the lean and green is teaching you now to eat healthier food, to eat lean protein, to pick rich, antioxidant-full vegetables, to pick things that are really good for us, and healthy starches, and actually really healthy carbohydrates that are complex, and to remove all the ultra-processed foods. And so you're going to learn all that along the way. One of the things that I love about the introduction in 8, and I talk a little bit about it in element 7, but really bring it out in element 8, is the habits of health clock. One of the things that was very important 10,000 years ago was we had a biological clock. We would basically get up when the sun came up, and we'd go to sleep shortly after the sun went down. We'd spend some time around the campfire, eating, and then we would tell stories, and then we'd sleep. And so we got plenty of sleep, restorative sleep, quality sleep. We'd have somebody who was on watch, but the rest of us would sleep well throughout the night. Well, we've kind of lost that with the digital world, and so we have our lights on, and we keep our lights on, and many people, unfortunately, have the habit of taking their digital phone to bed with them, having lots of noises, TV in the bedroom, and they're watching TV. And so we're not getting the 8 hours of restorative sleep we need. So the habits health clock is simply, and you can look at it here, I've set it up basically, is the 24 hours in the day. And we want to take those 24 hours in the day, and we then want to make it into those 24 hours compartmentalized into, and here we look at the blue, the deep blue, is the 8 hours of restorative sleep. And we know some people can be a little different and modify, but as a whole, we find the sweet spot is around 8 hours of sleep. So we want to make sure we put that in your clock first. Then on each side of that, use an hour, which is used in the evening, is the twilight hour, to make sure you're basically taking enough time to turn off all those digital devices, take a hot bath, and you can read all about it as you move through the elements that talk about it in the Dr. A's Habits of Health. But basically get you set up so by the time you lay down on the pillow, you're ready to go to sleep. The same thing when you wake up in the morning. You shouldn't need an alarm clock. Basically, if you're getting restorative sleep, you'll wake up naturally. That twilight hour is organizing your day, and one of those things in organizing your day is the start of within 30 to 60 minutes to do your first fueling. And we have basically 6 fuelings in the day, which takes up basically somewhere between 14 to 16 to 18 hours, depending on our individual schedule. And the beauty is, as you take the time and start disciplining yourself in element 8, you're going to start to really learn how to actually take this designated time and use it to optimize your day, optimize your health, make sure you're fueling throughout the day, making sure you have lots of energy, and that will kind of start the pattern. So this is a foundational step, the key to first to reach a healthy weight, but more importantly for long-term weight management, making sure you're getting enough sleep, which is important for long-term weight management, making sure you're fueling throughout the day, which keeps your energy level well, so you won't have a tendency to snack on the wrong things or feel hungry or feel overeat if you've missed a meal. So all this is being set up through you now moving forward and finding every 3 hours a convenient time to eat. What's great about our fuelings, our prepackaged fuelings, are that they're convenient. You can take them with you. You can just do them in a moment. They take very, very little time. And they're going to give you basically portion control. So during the weight loss phase, while you're losing and reaching your healthy weight, you will be eating 5 of those and then basically a lean and green, and that will help you move forward. And so you're building in the Habits of Health app, which the company is really working with now, brought in a great team that's helping get all the bugs that were at it, so it should be really great for everybody to use. But it actually helps remind you and record that, and then record your water as well. So these things become totally automatic to you, which in the beginning aren't. You're not going to think as you start on the program or you start this long-term change in your behavior to eat every 3 hours. So we're going to help you do that. If you don't have the app right now, then you can use a timer. You can use a cue, but you want to create a cue which reminds you to eat every 3 hours, and then the routine is preparing either a fueling, one of the fuelings, or you can look within the Dr. A system in healthy eating, and you'll find where you can prepare snacks. So I do that a lot. Usually on average now, I reached my healthy weight a long time ago. Many years ago, I was about 20 pounds overweight, wearing drawstrings, scrubs every day. And now basically I know that I have probably on average 3 fuelings and 3 regular smaller portion control meals every day. And so that allows me, over the weekend I was out at a sporting event and went to, ate before I went, brought a bar with me, basically, and then went out to dinner and had a wonderful dinner. portion controlled. Had two appetizers and shared a meal. My Savannah, my daughter, was there and her friends, and we basically had a great time. We just basically shared those things, and then I felt great. And so I'm used to eating, been doing it so long, it's just like clockwork for me now, and I don't need to use the app for that particular thing. But you want to build that in early on, because this is one of the things that will create sustainable weight management, which is a key macro habit within our system. So hopefully that's helpful. A couple more things just real quickly. Again, going back to this chart, which is the transformational cycle, we look at two parts of this. I just want to refresh. We talked about this earlier, but this is really important, is you'll have a cue, which signals you, which can be your phone. It can be some other thing that you have set, a timer. That cue is to fuel. Second is the routine. The routine is, that you're going to have, if you're on the 5 and 1, you'll have 5 fuelings and then 1 healthy, lean, and green. If you're not, you're now beyond the 5 and 1 and you're at a healthy weight, you'll just pick smaller meals. The instant reward is that you feel better. When you get up from your meal, you feel, wow, I have lots of energy. I'm not hungry, because we've specifically designed the fuelings to basically give you protein, high quality protein that creates satiety, which means you're not hungry. 2 is it's portion control, so you're not getting too many calories. 3, it's got vitamins and minerals in it. And it's low glycemic, which means it's not going to raise your insulin level, which will then drop your blood sugar, which creates those cravings. So that's easy for you. All you have to do is open it and eat it, or prepare it with water, or whatever, which particular one you're using. The same thing with your snacks. You can go in the Habit Cell system and learn, and I would pick out 5 great snacks. This is once you reach a healthy weight. And then for myself, I know what I can eat. I bring that. I remember we talked about in the surrounding chapter, I create my discipline at the grocery store. I don't do it once it gets home. I don't bring home things that aren't healthy. I bring home only healthy things. So my choices are every 3 hours. If I feel like, I can look in the refrigerator, in the pantry, and find almonds, find all kinds of really healthy things that I can eat. And so eating every 3 hours becomes really easy and routine. And so what we're doing is we're creating that reward, which is, notice how much better you feel when you're eating healthy. And then the long-term investment is, we know this. We know that if we reach a healthy weight, we're starting to move more, which we will do, and getting up from our desk because we're not so lethargic after we eat, and basically sleeping well, which will help us not crave those unhealthy foods. All those things can get better. So hopefully this is helpful. I see it says best path ever. Yeah, it's a tremendous path. It's actually a place for us to now, over time, engineer that habit self clock. So we're taking each one of those hours. Now the 8 hours, hopefully you design through your twilight hour that you're sleeping really well, so you don't really have to do much other than dream, during that period. But when you get up and you now have a plan for the day, it's not a Chinese fire drill trying to get up and get the kids moving around and feed the dogs and run out of the house and almost get to work late. Instead, you have that hour that's designated because you've gone to sleep an hour earlier. So you now have that hour in the morning, which is for you. So you can plan your day, so you can prepare a healthy meal, so you can basically do the things that you want to do. So you're now set up your day, which makes it much easier to avoid. Remember, we talked about the leptogenic world last week. It allows you to avoid going by Dunkin' Donut. You won't even want it because you'll be well rested, and you'll no longer want that sugar and all that heavy sugar load, which sets you up, by the way, the opposite, where your insulin goes up, then your glucose goes down, then you're craving sugar all day long and you're fighting it. You're going to now take control, take charge through the habits health clock. So now you have your 8 hours, you wake up, you plan your day, you achieve the things during the day you want. You've now scheduled, you have a routine when you're eating. And by the way, people say, well, I don't want a routine. I want the freedom. Basically, the routine planning is what gives you the freedom to be able to fully enjoy your day, have plenty of time for the processes and things you have to do, whatever your day's full of, but do it in a way now where you're now the chief architect of your health and your life. So hopefully that's helpful. Let me see if there's anything in here I missed. Love spending time with you. I loved it too, man. I really, really enjoy this. We'll if you guys, the feedback, we'll decide we'll do this again. I've been very excited about doing it with you. I love spending time doing this because it's interactive. It's an opportunity for us to really work together. So here's what I'd like to say. Basically, I am working on a whole bunch of projects now to help people transform their health and transform their life. So you can follow, obviously you follow using the habitshealth.com. You can also go to drwayneanderson.com. basically, which is DR, my name, Wayne Andersen, ANDERSEN.com. And you can go there and follow. We're writing articles on all the stuff going on in the world. Just, as I explore how to help people get healthier, anything new that's coming out, that's a great place to be signed up for. So that's, again, Dr. Dr. WayneAndersen.com. So with that, for those of you that have been with me since the beginning, thanks for hanging out. It's been great. For those who've joined late, great to have you on board. Remember, the journey of a lifetime starts with a decision, and the decision is that, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm now going to focus on creating long-term optimal health and well-being, knowing that our community, the Habits Health system, basically, if you're part of our mission, thank you for your help and your support of helping us spread this. There's never been quite a time as there is right now, and we're designing our community around creating a psychological safe space for you, for your friends to come to be able to be part of what we believe will be a turn in kind of the quality of life and the sanctity of life, so that we make an opportunity for anyone that's willing to raise their hand to take responsibility to have better health and better well-being. So I want to thank you again for these 8 weeks we've been together, and hopefully you guys are starting to really understand that each little choice you make that moves you more towards better health helps your mind, your body become more and more attuned to the things that are necessary to create long-term health and well-being. And then I highly suggest you reach out and help others, because we're at our best when we're learning and then teaching others to do the same. So with that, good night, everybody. God bless.